Hello, this is Steven Swenson with Shade Foray here from TaxSaleSupport.com, and we have a new training video today on an interesting study that we found from Coldwell Banker.
Yeah, the topic is actually something that probably goes contrary to what a lot of people might think about the millennials right now and the market, because really I think there are I think a lot of people might think that the millennials don't care about real estate, but in reality there's actually a lot of millennials that do.
Yeah, I was kind of really surprised about, we were both really surprised about the findings of this, and that's part of the reason we wanted to bring it to your guys' attention. So what Coldwell Banker did is they had a study done to analyze the aspects of millennial millionaires. And it was pretty surprising in what they were able to find out with millennial millionaires, also in conjunction with the baby boomers.
Yeah, well, what they're finding here is that there is a big population change that is expected to take place where millennials are basically going to overtake the baby boomers, in population in this year, 2019, as their numbers swell to 73 million due to immigration and the boomers decline down to 72 million. So they're basically, the millennial group is becoming this big chunk of society right now, and in that group there are actually a lot of millionaires.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the baby boomers was obviously the largest generation that we had ever had, and now this millennial generation is actually overtaking that. And so within the United States, there's actually 618,000 millennial millionaires.
Yeah. Now, basically, they believe that by 2030, that millennials are going to hold 5 times as much wealth as they have today, and that's really the number that that I think is an impactful number to me. That their wealth is going to go up by 5 times in the next 11 years.
Yeah, exactly. They're expected to inherit over $68 trillion. So that's a ton of wealth that's actually being referred to as the great wealth transfer.
Yeah, and yeah, I think a lot of that will happen from people inheriting money, but obviously in the next 11 years there's going to be a tremendous transfer of wealth.
Yeah, absolutely. And what the study found out was that the net worth of the average millennial millionaire was between $1 million to about $2.49 million. And they found out that the ages of these individuals were usually between the ages of 34 to 37, so a little bit on the older end of that millennial group.
Yeah, about 15% are business owners. And something else that is interesting is that they invest heavily in real estate. I think that they actually, what we can see right here is about 63% of millennials have purchased property, and with 57% of them purchasing a single family unit.
Yeah, absolutely. And home ownership among millennial millionaires is even higher. So 92% of the millennial millionaires have purchased a home, and 80% of them have purchased a single-family dwelling unit.
Yeah, but that's also partly it's where they've made their money too.
Yeah.
Is in their their homes and in additional real estate that they purchase.
One thing that was interesting is that the average millennial millionaire has $1.3 million in real estate, and it's distributed over 3 properties. So most millennial millionaires have more than just one property. They've put it in several properties.
Right, and that's basically how they become millionaires. Essentially is by purchasing property, but they basically purchase property, with the intention of holding on to it for a long time. So the majority of millennial millionaires are concentrated in California, about 44% they're saying there. But then there also are additional states, that they're located in. But part of that follows that same trend, in California in terms of owning property. A lot of them are business owners as well, 23%.
Yeah, exactly. And 25% where they're purchasing real estate. So it's definitely, there's a ton of millennial millionaires that realize that real estate's important and are putting their money within that real estate.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought was interesting about it, was that they obviously know that that real estate is the place to make long-term money. That's where wealth is really built, is in real estate, and it doesn't take that much real estate to become a millionaire.
Yeah, well, one thing that was interesting is you see the millionaires by state here is that the number one city or zip code with the most millionaires in the entire country, you'd think Beverly Hills or somewhere like that. No, it's actually in Traverse City, Michigan.
Yeah, which is odd. You wouldn't think that.
No. It's pretty interesting. I think that was what was so interesting about this study.
Yeah. Now there are a lot of millennials, some affluent millennials cannot afford new construction because, new construction in a lot of these places they like to live is so expensive that they've resorted to choosing, desirable areas and doing work.
Yeah, exactly. They'd rather, use that money and try to get it in a nicer location, save a little bit of money, and then fix up the property. And that was something that was kind of interesting as well as I was reading through this study is that 70% of millennial millionaires are interested in home improvement, and they're really kind of looking, at doing, as I kind of got into it, they're not looking to do major rehabs. They're looking to do almost light rehab work, where they come in and kind of dress it up and do it in their own style, but are able to kind of save money that way.
Yeah. They're basically looking for fixer-uppers, that they can get, and also. What they share, I think, the view that wealth is going to be created through real estate, but they essentially buy the property with the intention of eventually converting it into real estate, into rental property. So, and I think that they know it's a simple formula. You just have to buy a few properties like that, and eventually they're going to pay themselves off.
Yeah, absolutely. Real estate is the number one way to create wealth, and it makes sense that people, millennial millionaires, as they're getting that influence, they're making that money, see the value in putting it towards real estate.
Yeah. So I think given, the young age and also this wealth transfer that's happening because a lot of them are also inheriting wealth from baby boomer, parents or from an older generation as well. And so, that in addition to real estate holdings, they really are poised to be one of the richest generations ever.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually a quote that came right out of the study where, essentially this massive transfer of wealth is something we really haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Not where there's that type of wealth. The baby boomers didn't have that type of wealth from their parents.
Yeah.
The baby boomers generated and gained a lot of wealth, and all that wealth will be transferred to their children. And then, of course, we just haven't seen something like that before.
Yeah, at least, and it's bound, it's going to happen in such a short period of time here. 11 years, and that kind of a transfer is.
Well, it's really happening right now.
Yeah.
It's getting. I'm sure it's happening over the next 10, 15 years. We're going to see that 52 million or whatever, 52 trillion, transfer of wealth into all of these new. Investors, where hopefully they're going to be smart and put their money into real estate.
But what's good about this, though, and I think it has implications for real estate investors, is that there are going to be a whole bunch of young people in the market to buy property, and they are totally into fixer-upper properties, or they're into a lot of the types of real estate investment properties that we can find, in different tax sales. They're going to be good potential buyers out there.
Yeah, well, the stereotype is that all millennials are living with their parents.
Yeah.
We're close to the millennial age. We're, a little bit older than that, but pretty close to it. But that's kind of the stereotype with a lot of that millennial generation. But the truth is, from the study, it says 57% of them are homeowners. Mm-hmm. And that's not even the millionaires. 50% of just millennials are homeowners. So there's a bunch of millennials that are buying homes. Maybe it's their first starter homes. But because there's so much population, that means there's, like you said, going to be a ton of opportunities as real estate investors to sell them property.
Yeah, really. I think that will mean a growing number of opportunities coming up here in the future, and also more opportunities to sell. As this wealth transfer happens, they're going to be looking for things to buy.
Yeah, exactly. And if we're the ones that are buying all the real estate, we'll have the real estate to sell it to them.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in the actually reading the entire report, we'll have it there within the description. That'll take you to Coldwell Banker, so you can read the full report if you'd like to.
Yeah, and also if you like this information, if you want more information about how to locate different tax sale properties or training on how to invest in them, you can always join our membership program on taxsalesupport.com.
Yeah, absolutely. We have between 400 to 500 governmental auction lists each month. We have thousands of over-the-counter lists. Essentially, these are properties you can buy at any time. So it really is the best value in tax sale education.
Yeah. Also, be sure to subscribe to this video and give us a thumbs up.
Yep, thanks, guys. Appreciate you, and we'll put out more video content for you.